Dear friends, welcome to AS American IELTS Training Center. So we have come here for IELTS speaking task. So here is a test taker. He has come here, so we are going to check on speaking task. So she'll be asking the part 2 or section 2 questions. Each question he has to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. So you can take your time for preparation. And she's also a student and he's also a student. So she'll be asking questions and he'll be answering. Yes, let us start this test.
Shall we move on with questions?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to the first question. Talk about a goal you have.
The goal that I have in life is to become a doctor. That's the main goal in my life, to be precise. And becoming a doctor is the goal that was instilled in me by my mother, because she's been my inspiration all my life. And she used to teach me and used to tell me that doctors are not just people, they are treated equal to God, because they don't just save people, they save lives. They save their hopes and much more. And they are treated like God. And you will not go tired seeing people, because they are assets. And doctors are great assets to our nation. And each and every day you will find many diseases popping out, because even though we find cure for many diseases, we don't find less number of people getting into doctors. So to be a doctor is my main goal.
Yeah, that's a wonderful answer. And moving on to the next question. Talk about a famous singer or a movie star.
I would like to talk about superstar Rajnikant, and he's one of my favorite actor. And to be precise, is not just mine, but a favorite actor who everyone love all over the world, and even in Japan, he's a very famous guy. And he's a 60-year-old man, but the thing is that he's evergreen always. His acting and his style is something that I would awe each and every time, and I would like to meet him one day if possible and if God allows. And the thing is that I'm a great fan of him, and I don't miss watching any one of his movies. And above all, he's one such person who is a very spiritual and as well as a very heartful person who helps people at the same time, and is always so elated when someone is when even a small person who comes to meet him is elated such that his personality, that he speaks to you, so he speaks to you, and he speaks to you in a way that you would not see look at him as a actor or a big person. So he comes and talks to you as a brother, as a father, and many of his fans are dying for that cause of his personality. So he's my favorite actor.
Yeah, that's good. Moving on to the next question. Talk about your mobile phone.
I own a mobile phone called Samsung J7, and it was just released last month, and it's a very nice phone, I would tell you, because it's the same time economical, and as well as the same time it's a highly full featured phone you would find now. And it's got a lot of cool features in it. There's a 15 MP camera in the back, and the front you would find a 3 MP camera. And the phone features are very clear, as well as the same time the phone is very fast. It has got a 1.5 GB RAM, so it's quite fast, and at the same time quite reliable. And you could get it in a really less cost, and at the same time you could use it for a lot of other things. And even though we have a lot of apps in it, the thing is that you can use it very easily, and at the same time it's very fast. So my phone is one of the best phones, I would tell you.
Okay. Then moving on to the next question. Talk about the number of students from your country studying areas.
there are a lot of people, a lot of students migrating to other countries to pursue their higher educations. The thing is that it's because not that we don't have a proper education system in our country or our education standards are low, but the thing is that studying abroad just gives us more and more exposure to it, and at the same time there are a lot of topics that being taught there more than what's being taught in our country. And at the same time, you would find a lot of exposure towards things, and there are a lot of opportunities popping out as well. And there's no much need for percentage of marks that you score in your exams. And the thing is that you just need a decent percentage to get into a high college, and definitely some amount of money to get into a college. And it's also nice to have a name that I have studied in a college, so everyone would like to have such names that I have pursued my education here, that too in abroad, so everyone to would look at you in a different way. And that's the thing, everyone to like to show off, and at the same time many like to pursue their higher educations abroad because of the opportunities as well as the exposure.
Okay. Talk about your favorite fast food in your country.
The favorite fast food in my country is biryani, to be precise. It's not just a fast food, it's a craze for everyone in our country. Biryani means a mixture of a mixture. That's what the name biryani means. And biryani's origination is not from this country, but it originated in Saudi Arabia, and because of its popularity just spread to many other countries, and now it has become one of the popular food, not just in my country but across the world. And there are lots of flavors in biryani, and the aroma just pulls you down, and that's what's the craze behind biryani. And even crazy fans have it all 3 times a day, and that's the power that biryani has on people. And there are not just one type, but there are each and every type you will find a different flavor in biryani. And at the same time you will find different types of biryani in different places. And in our country some of the varieties being Ambur biryani, then Hyderabadi biryani, and there are lots of other varieties, and Mohal biryani is also one such interesting type. And so biryani is one of our country's favorite assets.
Okay. Then moving on to the next question. Talk about what your country is famous for.
I can't just tell you one thing that which my country is famous for, but there are lots of things that my country is famous for. The first thing being its diversity. The unity that our country has, it's lacking in all the other countries, I would tell you. Because even though there are lots of religions and lots of castes of people, and we have peoples of all walks of life in our country, but even though they all have one name and one thing in their heart, that they are Indians. And that's the main thing that I would like to tell you about my country. And there are lots of other things as well, the flora, the fauna, the beauty of my country. And God has blessed abundantly our country with lots of love and lots of people who love us, and lots of wildlife and lots of animals and lots of flora and fauna which our country is abundantly blessed with. And you would find a diversity in them too, and that beauty you can't see in any other country.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, then moving on to the next question. Talk about a famous person.
I would like to talk about Mahatma Gandhi. He's called as a father of our nation, and he's not just a famous person, he still lives in the mind of every Indian, because he brought us what we call freedom to everything in our country. The freedom that we enjoy now is because of only his great potentials that he had, that he brought about the freedom in our country through his sheer hard work and determination. He's a very determined person. At the same time, he used to be loving, humble, and everyone would awe at his aura, because he not just had a personality that everyone could easily mingle with him, but also he loved everyone and reciprocated to everyone in the same way. And that's why we all respect him from the core of our heart, and he still lives in our minds forever.
Good. Talk about a happy holiday.
A happy holiday would be uh, one which I spent with my family in Mysore, and actually we went there a few years back, and it was a nice holiday. My dad, mom, and my brothers went there along with my grandmother, and it was a nice family outing because Mysore was cool at that time, and the climate was really good, and we visited a lot of places in Mysore as well as in Bangalore. The Mysore Sultan Palace was one which thing I liked about, and at the same time we visited many places, but it brought us togetherness to our family. So I would like to tell you about that.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. Talk about what you do every day.
Every day I do a lot of things. Morning I get up, brush, then I take a bath, and every day I do a lot of routines. And the one most thing that I would like to tell you is that I pray every day. I pray every day to my Lord Father, which I would find is the most important time that I'm cool, I'm silent, I'm calm, and I'm blessed to be in His presence. Every day I do it because I don't get, if you ask me, I don't get anything out of it. But the thing is that everything in my life is because of God. So that's why I sit in His presence and I talk to Him, and at the same time He answers me in everything, and I know that my prayer is not gone in vain, and my Lord is always with me. And so one thing I do every day is talk with my Lord Father, and that's rigidly and routinely I do that. And then definitely I do play a lot of games. I own a PS3, so I have a lot of games and I'm a fan of games. And then I do watch quite about a lot of movies, and this is what I do every day.
Yeah. Then next question is, talk about how your family feel about your future study.
Actually, it's my family which pushed me to pursue a career in doctor and medicine, and it's actually they who wanted me to be a doctor, and that became my inspiration, and that became my goal. My major inspiration in life was Dr. Mohan, and he's an eminent diabetologist and the best diabetologist in the world, and it's because we are a family, and looking at him I found a lot of inspiration to become a doctor, and that's why I'm pursuing my career in medicine. And the most important thing is that my family is my driving force behind my goal.
Okay. Your next question is, talk about your future career.
My future career is in medicine, and medicine is one such field we find a lot of scope in, and many people don't easily get medicine because it's a difficult way to get into it. It includes a lot of sheer determination, hard work, and you can't just get into it. You need to live to be a doctor, and so it's not so easy. But I have a determination that I will get a seat and I will pursue my goal in my life.
Talk about an important leader in your country. Important leader.
One important leader in my country is definitely Mr. Narendra Modi. He's the Prime Minister of our country, and he is not an educated person, but a very experienced person, to be precise. And he came to a lot of struggle in his life, and because of that, he works towards the works towards the height scaling of our country. And under his leadership, our country is still growing more, and he aims at bringing about the diversity and bringing about unity among other nations with India. And he often travels to other countries to just bring about the unity among the other countries, and at the same time, he's a highly eminent person. Coming from a very poor background, he didn't just grow up, he looked and experienced the conditions of our people in our country. And he had a lot of exposure in his life, and so he's a highly successful person in our country, and everyone respects him for who he is and how his skills is improving our country in many ways.
Moving on to your next question. Talk about a good place to visit in your country.
There are lots of places that are excellent, more than good in our country. And one such place I would suggest you is that you can visit Shimla, because all time the climate is good, and at the same time you could find a lot of snow, which we don't find normally in all the places in India. Only in certain places you find it, and the climate is good, as well as the atmosphere and the fauna you would find there are highly superb. And I recently saw a documentary on Shimla, and I was really awed about it, because I find a lot of diversity there too. You find a lot of people still living there, and everyone, and even the apples we get in our country is from Shimla. And there are not just one or two varieties. There are 200 varieties of apples that's being cultivated in Shimla. So, and you would find a lot of places to visit, and there are lots of temples which many consider sacred, as well as visit every year. And there's Badrinath, Kedarnath, and every other thing. And so you can visit Shimla in our country, and it's one such good place.
Okay, your next question is, talk about studying at home and studying overseas. Which do you prefer?
I would like to study at home. It's because I'm a very homesick person, and I just don't like to miss my family at any cost. And at the same time, in our country, the education system is also good, and the quality of education and the other standards is also high. And I would prefer studying in my country, not just because I'm homesick, but at the same time, I find my country more eminent than anything. I just want to make my country proud, and not the other countries proud, by studying there and getting a good repute there. So I just want to make my country more proud through my studies there.
Okay, moving on to the next question. Talk about an important custom in your country.
The most important customs in our country are, we follow a lot of festivals, and there are a lot of festivals in our country, and the most important custom is that during all these festivals, we as a family come together to celebrate those, and that's the custom and tradition that we are following for years. And it's just not bring about unity, but it brings much more, a family. It brings a family. Even though we are scattered in many places in our country, it brings us together, because we don't actually see each other every day, and it's only during these festivals that we come across. And one such custom is that we all come together, have food, spend quite a lot of days being with each other, and at the same time enjoy life with our family and friends. And that's one of our customs.
Yeah, that's good. Talk about how modern technology has affected your country.
Modern technology is important for each and every country. It's it's a very need for everyone, because technology is important for all of us. And even in our life, we don't. Modern technology is important for our country, but at the same time, modern technology has lessened our frequency of our talks with our family members or our friends. We just have a lot of technologies nowadays: WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, to name a few. And we just chat with our friends only through that. We don't have time or spend time to go to their houses to have a casual talk or to have a jovial talk with them. And so this was a custom our country used to follow every day. Every day we used to just visit our friends and have that, but now we all have a mobile phone in which we have updated with WhatsApp, Facebook, and which keeps us connected, but at the same time it has reduced the face-to-face contact with people.
Talk about your thoughts on education.
Education is not a need, it's life. Because in today's world, if we need to survive, we need education, definitely. And education should be given free of cost to everyone. But the thing is that everything is opposite in our country. We get fans, mixies and everything free of cost. But the thing is that we need to pay for education. But what I would like to tell my country is that it should be the other way. Education should be given free of cost to everyone so that it reduces the poverty in our country. At the same time, elevates our country to a higher level. And since our country is to be educated, more and more opportunities come, and more people and more scientists develop in our country. And what do we need more than any wealth? We just need education in our life. So it's one such thing that every person should pursue education to a particular level, at least in his life, to have and to be aware of the surroundings in which he's now.
What do you believe is the best way to learn English?
The best way to learn English is to first have a passion on it, that I should learn English. So first you should need a passion, and then only you will have and you will put in some action to read English, to read not only English, in any other thing, in any other way. Anything you want to learn, you have to first put in passion. And the next thing, you have to read a lot of articles in the newspaper, as well as put yourself in exposure on TV. And there are lots of channels in TV where English speaking channels. At the same time, the news channels, if you just watch, and you will come to know about the quality of English they use. And at the same time, we can just learn more English by listening than reading. And it's quite interesting to learn English, because it's not just a boring language. It's not a boring language. And it is something that we need every day in our life, because if we are to go abroad, we need English, and it's a universal language, to be precise. And so the best way to learn English is to that first you should have a passion, and then read a lot of articles in the newspaper, and then watch English channels on TV, and that would bring about a good vocabulary as well as our exposure to English.
Talk about the main industries in your country.
There are quite a lot of industries in our country, but one such scopeful industry is IT, that is information technology, and the software industries in our country. And that's one which is fastly growing in our country. And there are lots of IT parks being built in our country. There are lots of eminent persons who are being developed and who are being born. And so I would like to tell you about Satya Nadella, and Sundar Pichai, who is the CEO of Google. These are quite few persons who are really eminent in this industry, and there are lots of people studying and getting into this industry because it's a highly scopeful one, because technology is increasing every day, and it's new technologies are being found every day. So IT is one of the most scopeful industries in our country, which is developing right now.
And your last question is, talk about computer games.
Computer games. Computer games are a craze to everyone. We don't find even a small child sitting idle nowadays. At least he would have a phone to play games, and it all started with computers. With the development of computer games, there were lots and lots of things that are being developing nowadays. Not just computers. Computers have evolved into PS3, that is we find PlayStations, Xbox and other things. And so computer games are a craze among all the people among all walks of life. Even 20-year-old age boys now play games, and that's how computer games have taken all over us. And it's quite interesting. And at the same time, a new study has found that playing computer games is quite good because it improves your concentration as well as the same time it improves your skills. So, computer games.
Very good. For all my questions, you gave a wonderful reply. So I congratulate you and have a wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you, Amani, and thank you, sir. And these two of them are taking the IELTS and TOEFL exams sooner, maybe within 10 days. So we have finished successfully the IELTS test, speaking test. So next we shall go in for reading and listening. Let us start. Thank you very much.